Guys, one of Disney's most classic animations, I'm talking about Snow White and the Seven Dwarfs, is facing cancellation in this trend Disney has of taking a well-established classic animation and turning it into live action, right? It's The Lion King, it's Aladdin, all the big ones there. But Snow White is something that caused controversy with the dwarfs. There was controversy about Gal Gadot being the evil queen and that she's not a good actress. She's just pretty. But the real champion of cancellation is the actress. The actress who's going to play Snow White. And by the way, she's not white like snow. We're talking about Rachel Zegler, who just got into some trouble with Donald Trump, the president of the United States. So we're going to yak, and I'm going to, of course, ask before we start, are you excited about Snow White? Are you going to the movies to watch Snow White? Was Snow White part of your childhood? Comment down below. I'm going to react to a video from Ian Nell's channel, RK Outpost. So subscribe to the channel. I'm subscribed to his channel. He's huge. He gives a lot of daily news, but focused on controversy. He thrives on Discord. He has that profile. So go ahead and subscribe. Take a look. Let's go straight to my computer. Let's get started. 3, 2, 1. Oh.
It will be, if I'm not mistaken, March 2025. Directed at Rachel Zegler, the star of Disney's newest live-action remake of Snow White, which is set to be released in early 2025. That's right.
But you're saving in the month of March 2025.
It's not something new for Rachel Zegler. Since it was announced and we heard her talk about the movie, she's been generating controversy after controversy, but this time it was taken to a new level. In a meltdown over the election, Rachel Zegler not only criticized Donald Trump, which many Hollywood celebrities are doing, but essentially told anyone who voted for Trump or supported Trump that they can go screw themselves.
Oh my God, right? Let's go eat. Where do I start, right? Back in the day, I don't know, 10, 15, 20 years ago, there were no social media, right? When I graduated from college in 2007, there wasn't even WhatsApp. I think it was MSN or something like that, right? And what happened was that actors had their public life and their personal life, and you didn't know what was going on in their personal lives. But now everyone has this, look, a little cell phone. Sometimes a person has 2 little cell phones and stuff. So anything that happens, they take a picture, then like record a video. And then there's also the whole social media thing, right? The person films posts on social media. And then what happens? Actors need to take better care. What happens with an opinion like that? It goes viral on social media for better or for worse. And then, damn, part of her fans, right, could be in favor of Donald Trump. And she has to be careful with these positions because she's Snow White, one of the most classic animations, and Disney is paying her. So she has to be Snow White until the movie premieres. Why? Because they want to return. So a position like that happens. Everyone who supports Donald Trump isn't going to see Snow White. Look at that, right? So it's very complicated. Shall we continue? Comment below. I want to know your opinion.
And considering all the problems that Disney has had recently as a company, and the fact that they're currently involved in a lawsuit with Gina Carano, who was fired for her political opinion, had to know that this was a bad look.
He commented about the actress who was there. I think she was in The Mandalorian, right? Which is a Star Wars series on Disney+. And because of her controversial positions, which I won't mention here, otherwise the video will get taken down, in the end she was moved. So, Reykjavik already knew about this, right? So, she could have protected herself better with her opinions, right?
Negative reactions due to Rachel Zegler's comments about Trump, out of control, and a risk. Well, here we are a little over 24 hours after Rachel Zegler got herself into so much trouble, and apparently someone at Disney made a call. Someone at Disney probably called Rachel Zegler and said, hey, you need to shut up because you're ruining this movie and our reputation.
Yeah, I believe that really happened, for sure. You call and say, are you crazy for saying that? Dude, delete that Instagram, get out of here, go to a spa, and disappear, because this is ridiculous.
When can we not afford that? A few hours ago, Rachel Zegler posted an apology on her Instagram. And we can see in her Instagram story here, hey everyone, I apologize for the post about the election that I shared on my Instagram. I let My emotions speak louder. Hate and anger have driven us further away from peace and understanding. And I regret having contributed to the negative discourse. This week has been emotional for many of us, but I firmly believe that everyone has the right to their opinion, even when it differs from mine. I'm committed to positively contributing to a better tomorrow.
That really looks like her advisors, right? I remember we covered all the controversies here on the channel about the actor who played the Flash, Ezra Miller. And man, it was something new, right? It was the cult at his farm. Then he got into a fight at the bar and he jumped in, robbed a house there, right? He robbed, stole a bottle of wine. Wow, it was a mess. Got arrested twice. And what happens, right? So he has to get help, right? Warner Brothers showed up and said, dude, you need to get help or you're going to get fired, right? Anyway, right? And then there was that post, which is just copy and paste, and it was definitely her advisors. It wasn't her who typed it up, right? She definitely got a slap on the wrist, right?
But she wrote that. She probably just copied and pasted, to be honest. But in the end, I have no doubt that the rat called and said, hey, did you see what's going on? Your trailer has over 1 million dislikes. Everyone despises you.
Man, guys, when they want to cancel someone, dude. Because, I have nothing against the actress, okay? The last time I saw her was in that prequel to The Hunger Games. I actually liked the actor who played No More. I found her a bit cheesy, but that's okay. She acted well there. She sings well. Nothing at level of cancellation, but so the woman does something like this, man. She has to know that if she is an actress, famous and such, she can have her own opinion. But keep her opinion to herself because people feel the need to, I'm going to post and everything. And even if they post, no problem at all because I'm a content creator. I share my opinion and all that. But man, think about what you're going to say because you have a contract, right? There's a contract for a movie that expects to make $1 billion, That could even be a clause in the contract for what? For her to be fined because now she has already filmed the movie, right? But for her to be fined, for her to be fired if the movie hadn't been filmed, for her not to be called for future films, that's complicated. And the rat, I'm sure the rat called.
They tried damage control with Rachel Ziegler before, and I don't really think it worked back then, to be honest with you. But apparently that was just one step too far for Disney.
Wow. Just to make a comparison, they chose not to have the dwarves be people who are actually dwarfs in real life. Instead, they ended up being mystical beings, and now they're all made with CGI.
Not just to be weird, not just to be putting all this stuff out there, but directly attacking more than half of the population of the United States, directly attacking half of your customers, your audience. That was just a step too far for them. So now you have a real apology, Rachel Zegler. And I really think it seems like the energy is shifting. When you look at some of the things that happened before the election, places like the Los Angeles Times, the Washington Post, those places that decided, hey, we're not going to make political endorsements. Maybe they're seeing the writing on the wall that Trump is going to win. We don't want to have a target on our backs. Maybe that's the case. I imagine that many entertainment companies, even if they disagreed, I'm sure a lot of them see that there's a shift in the energy of what's happening. No, they can do more of these things. Maybe they want to back off. They don't want to face so much pressure from what is clearly a highly motivated and very active reaction against people like Rachel Ziegler. And by that, I mean people who are more than willing to disregard their audience regardless of whether it harms the product or not.
I don't know if you guys saw, but the Marvel actors, the Avengers, there was Chris Evans and Mark Ruffalo was also there. They all went against Trump, right? So they also did to go out, their opinions and everything else. And so going back, they have to analyze, they can have their opinions, they can support, but they have to look at their contracts because like it or not, when you sign a contract, you're not obligated to sign a contract. You have to think about the return, especially because there are actors who are part of the box office. So they have to think about the consequences. Otherwise, they're also free not to sign a contract.
The Snow White movie is going to fail. For sure, it's going to fail. Disney probably thinks this is their last gasp. But please, stop putting your foot in your mouth. Please stop sabotaging this movie that you're going to be in. But actually, Disney only has itself to blame. Disney is the one who cast her knowing she was a woke activist.
True, that was Disney's fault. Because Disney goes there and does research, right? Or they should research, right? For sure. There was also that one, the Wasp from the Avengers, back during the pandemic and everything. She started giving those opinions like, oh no, no vaccine, that whole thing, including the actress who played Shuri, who even became Black Panther in the second movie. And the same thing happened. Atinio had to force her to, because otherwise she wouldn't have known. So it's complicated with these actors.
Disney is the one who encouraged her to expose herself, and now Disney has to deal with this backlash. Rachel Zegler kneels down and apologizes after telling Trump supporters to go screw themselves. I don't think it's sincere. I think she was forced to do that by Disney. That's how it looks. Normally, that's not even how she writes on Instagram. The uppercase letters in I, not how Rachel Zegler usually writes. She copied and pasted that. If you look at her Instagram stories, or she doesn't use capital letters. She just doesn't use B and I anywhere. She just doesn't use them. In almost none of them.
Wow. Look at this investigation of the guy was a detective. Check it out. He noticed a pattern that she doesn't really use any capital letters here, all lowercase. Then her intern comes in and uses a chat GPT and says, hey, chat GPT, write me a nice apology. And then the guy just copied and pasted it there. Her agent needs to be fired too.
And in her Instagram stories, she uses capital letters. However, in this one, there are a lot of things in uppercase. I really think that was copied and pasted, that they told her to post this, forced to post this. But here you are. For 2 years, Rachel Zegler has been a big problem for Disney. And apparently that finally became too much the other day, after the election. Despite all the things Rachel Zegler said before, insulting everything that came before her at Disney, criticizing the original animated movie.
And also, you know, what he's saying is that besides bringing up all these controversial issues, she criticized the classic animation, which is just absurd. It's like criticizing, I don't know, The Lion King, the animation, right? And I'm also a big critic of these Disney live-action films that feel kind of soulless. But hey, the animation will always be there for us. But you can clearly see that it's a cash grab. I liked Aladdin. And the first one I think was Mowgli. The rest I hated. Comment below if you like it. Dude, Lion King is so soulless. It looks like those documentaries from, I don't know if it's Discovery, whatever, anyway, those documentaries. But it doesn't, that soul, it doesn't create another animation. Anyway, I don't think it's cool. And I really think it's gonna flop, especially with this issue, right? What do you all think?
What are the various things that are similar to this particular situation or example? Let's explore the different aspects and characteristics that make these things comparable to what we are discussing here. I saw Megyn Kelly criticizing Rachel Zegler the other day. She needs to go. Megyn says that Disney should fire the Snow White actress Rachel Zegler after her insane posts about Trump voters. The quote itself is way better. In my opinion, hello, Disney, you're going to have to redo your movie again because this woman is a pig and you fired Gina Carano for way less than this nonsense.
Wow, called her a pig, my God.
And if you need a reminder of what that nonsense was, it was her meltdown after Trump's victory, where she attacked everyone who had any connection to it. I echo Ethel Kane's statements more than anything, that Trump supporters, Trump voters, and Trump himself should never know peace. And that really shouldn't be a surprise, because what we've seen, wow, did you see what she said here?
Let's go back here real quick. Look, she said, the guys who voted for Trump should never find peace.
What? Where she attacked everyone who had any connection to it. I echo Ethel Kane's statements more than anything. That Trump supporters, Trump voters, and Trump himself should never know peace. And that really shouldn't be a surprise because of what we saw a little before the election. This is Rachel Zegler.
Wow, and also it has nothing to do with Snow White, right? On top of this controversy, right? Because it has nothing to do with it, there's no problem at all. I wanted that actor who was in Suicide Squad who was competing for James Bond. What was his name again? I'll remember it soon anyway. But he's black. He's black, and I love it. There's no problem at all. Now, man, Snow White is described there. Snow White. White as snow, right? Anyway, she doesn't have the characteristics. That's where it gets complicated. You have to have a minimum of following the classic material if it doesn't make another one. There's also a creativity problem in Hollywood, right? If you look at the last year, the top 4 or 5 movies are all sequels. These guys have no imagination. Inside Out is a sequel. Now there's going to be Toy Story. It's a sequel. Then there's Despicable Me. It's a sequel. Deadpool, Wolverine, and sequels. Everything is a sequel. People have no creativity anymore, right?
This is her talking directly to anyone who might or might not be following her and saying, if you think differently and politically from me, follow me. I don't need your support. This is someone who right now has a movie coming out.
No, she's saying she doesn't need support when in reality she has to get people to watch the movie. It looks like, oh, I've already received my salary. I'm not getting anything from the box office, so screw the movie. It seems like that's it, right?
By Disney, a few months. And it's that kind of crap you say. Listen for yourselves.
This social media app says, have a really important presidential election coming up. And let's see, they're really eager for you to vote for Kamala Harris. This is actually unnegotiable. Our rights are at stake, folks. Our reproductive rights? Come on, go vote for the Blue Party. And if you disagree with this sentiment, just hit the unfollow button. I don't need your support.
If you disagree with me, please.
It's like, up until the first part, it's fine. Look, I'm going to vote for this person. Cool. Now the second part is like, oh, so if you don't, if you have a different opinion, get lost, right? It's starting to sound like that speech that I won't mention here, but basically it would be like either you're with me or you're against me, right? Just kidding.
Basically, I don't need your support. And that could be the reason, one of the many reasons why Disney finally had to intervene. Why did Disney finally have to shut this woman up? Because this is what needed to happen a long time ago. It's one thing to have your political opinion, but when you're constantly pushing other people away and specifically saying, if you don't vote like me, screw you. I don't want you to watch my movies. I don't need your support. I don't want you to follow me. All of this is getting a bit much, especially since it seems like the energy in the entertainment industry has shifted a bit since Trump's landslide victory. And yes, Disney made her apologize. And I've talked about this before. I mentioned it in the first video. After her apology, I stated my reasons for why I didn't think this was written by her. Not just because of the things she said and the fact that she actually apologized, but because of how it's written. Rachel Zegler consistently never uses capital letters when this investigation was masterful like a professional detective. She just doesn't do that. It's all lowercase. Even when I say something at the beginning of the next sentence, no capital letters, well, the grammar and capitalization were very different in this post. They weren't. Hey everyone, I would like to apologize for the post about the election that I shared on my Instagram. I let my emotions speak louder. Hatred and anger have pushed me further away from peace and understanding. And I'm really sorry for contributing to the negative discourse. This week has been emotional for many of us. But I firmly believe that everyone has the right to their opinion, even when it differs from mine. I'm committed to positively contributing to a better tomorrow. Yeah. See, maybe you're committed to staying quiet till your crappy movie that's going to flop so hard.
Oh my God, the guy is awesome. Well, what did you all think? Are you guys to watch the movie? Did you all know about all this controversy, all this cancel culture? Do you guys this kind of topic? Comment down below because I want to know. Don't forget to enjoy the video and also subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'll see you in the next video. See you later.